Yeah, this is really me. I ain't gonna lie to you, baby. Talk to him like an equal, desert eagle and fish. We ain't never look.
I want motherfuckers to understand one thing, dog. As I'm around, as long as I'm breathing, and as long as I have the ability to speak up on shit, I'm gonna murder their shit no matter what. I have no problem with confronting anybody, physically, lyrically, whatever the fuck. If you're gonna mislead my youth, which is my people, and you're gonna wipe your ass with that shit, and I'm gonna fuck you off. They could take it however they want. I said what I said, not mainly because of me, but because I got kids growing up. I got little homies growing up. This music shit is very influential. People don't necessarily own up to that and answer to that fact. I could and I did and I will continue to. Hey, what's up? It's Bozo, aka Emiliano, right here doing an exclusive interview with the fellas from Land Beast, trying to tap in with the streets, stay connected, you know what I'm saying? I'm better known off as Bozo. Originally signed to Universal in Kosh, 2005. I was a part of an independent label called High Power. My purpose in this game is to reinvent Chicano Rap. Like, I want to trash the past and I want to reinvent it. What we drop is accepted and respected as true talent. I want to make it reality, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I want my people and I want the future to be able to feed their kids off of this shit. Started rapping because of my homeboy, better known as Mr. Stomper. Caught a case the following year in 06. I was sentenced to 18 years through my appeals and through my motions that I placed in. I did 10 years, 2 months off of that sentence for armed robberies in the city of Baldwin Park. Not really giving a fuck. Growing up in Pico was beautiful. It's perfect, Hispanic community. But of course, to every city there's a gutter part. I lost my mother when I was 12 years old, so I was on the streets pretty much since then. After the head of your household died, which is your mother, adopted by my neighborhood, the local street neighborhood, took care of me, molded me, raised me, fed me, along with 2 of my sisters. Besides that, I can say that I lived a pretty good childhood. For my 10 years, I was rapping with High Power and I was also working at an oil refinery. So I was picking up trades. I've always been a worker. I've always liked to work, hustle, grind on the streets, but always have some legitimate always to fall back on. I got into the neighborhood before Stomper. I've been from my clique in my neighborhood a few years longer than Stomper has. Stomper's a little older than me, but Stomper, when I was growing up, was a very well-known graffiti artist, you know? He was part of a crew called OFA. That was pretty well known out of Los Angeles, like they were pretty notorious. I happened to catch this fool driving through the neighborhood, banged up on a BMX with a ponytail, and me and my road dog Prowler, I had a 380 in my pocket, we bang on him. He was like, hey homie, like I'm related, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, I don't give a fuck you related or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we the hood, you know what I mean? Like, what's cracking? So we didn't really meet on good terms, but as life went on, he suffered a few tragedies in his life that made him gravitate towards the hood, you know what I'm saying? So eventually he got into the neighborhood, and the minute he got into the neighborhood, we just hit it and started running on him. Stomper literally has saved my life. I'd be dead if it wasn't for him right now.
Yeah. You pick to infinity. Get at me, bitch. Everything is personal, they talk about the murder. It's obvious enough though, you gotta keep a tour. Made myself a promise, stay alive at all costs. I'm a humble motherfucker.
It's interesting the way I started rapping because in 2002, I did another prison term for another armed robbery. I had a cousin, Anthony, they called him Big Smiley from Burger and Locals. Pretty much lived my whole childhood with him. He was like a brother to me, like I said. So they murdered him in the year of 2003. They shot him 9 times in the city of Bell Garden. When I lost him, I was in reception. The reception yard is where they hold you until they can house you in a permanent housing. A counselor came to see me on the reception yard and he was like, look, I have too many caseloads and I have too many inmates to take care of. Like, we're overcrowded, I don't have the means to deal with you. So from under the door of my cell, he slid me a notepad and he slid me a pen. and he told me, I'm giving you this pad and this pen so you can vent. He told me, whatever you go through, whether it's a good day, a bad day, an encouraging, a discouraging day, it doesn't matter, just write it, you know what I'm saying? So I started writing in my notepad, and everything that I wrote came out as a song. So since then, I started composing and writing music. When I first caught my time, it was kind of hopeless because you see what's around you and you see what's going on around you. I started off doing my time in a 3-yard in Centinela. At that point, I'm thinking, shit, I'm not gonna get out on my date. I'm thinking if I didn't get life now, I'm probably gonna get life here, because any mission comes my way, I'm not gonna turn it down. Anything happens in front of me, I'm gonna raise my hand, because I'm already knowing my obligations as a Sureño and as the person that I represent, you know what I'm saying? So with those obligations, I thought the odds were against me. One of the most active yards, I would say, as far as a 3-yard. I be holding back cause these rats won't see me quit. I be on my grind till I'm dying, ain't no losing, bitch. When I was in prison, I was always a motivational force, so I feel like I gotta keep that up now, because I think that I have an obligation to eliminate a lot of the sucker shit that's going on in the industry, because the industry is so fake, you know what I'm saying? Especially in art, small genre. It's so easy for anybody to just say anything and whatever they want and try and depict whatever they want without having actually earned it. My personality doesn't allow that. Like, whether I'm in my neighborhood, whether I'm at home, around my kids and my family, I'm not gonna allow no fugazi shit. To not speak up, these days people call it hating, you know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, people called it taking action, you know what I mean? So I'm a person of action, so I will continue to do that, and I'm doing that for our culture is the minority now. I don't think that it's African Americans now. I don't think that it's even the Middle Easterns that have that terrorist vibe. I think that it's us. I think that at the end of the day, if anybody's gonna get their fucking ass wiped with anybody, they're gonna wipe their ass with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool, little bitch, get your ass off me. My record deal was, pretty much finished, because I sold the rights to all my music to Capone. My first album, Free Bozo, was all him. At that point, I wasn't literally signed to the label, but I was still in contact with him. Like, he was still sending me money that he owed me. I know there's a lot of hearsay hearing back from him and, you know, his girl Pinks and shit, saying that they looked out for me. But the main thing is this, to understand, nobody's gonna give you nothing that you haven't earned. Like, every cent and dollar that I received, I earned. I think that my talent speaks to that nature, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that there's no way that I spit on the track and it doesn't accumulate money, you know what I mean? So if Capone or their label or Pinks or anybody wants to say that I was getting handouts, like, they're fucking very well mistaken, because ain't nothing free about the shit I do, you know what I mean? Yeah. Keep it perspective. Yeah. How you value yourself. It was a contract that was presented to me and was offered to me by Pinks. This is where it gets interesting. Like, I don't know how many people can relate, but to me it's like this, homie. Like, I don't react off of emotion, you feel what I'm saying? When we sat down and we talked about this contract and we talked about this deal, I did feel very well disrespected, you know what I'm saying? At that point, when I was given that contract, I just basically started to strategize the whole situation, thought to myself, how can I use this situation to my best advantage, you know what I'm saying? So my best advantage was not sign, you know what I'm saying? The intimidation factor is always there between me and them. They know better than to sucker me into something that I don't agree to, because they know the repercussions are more than just music. But you're greedy as hell, LA boy making noise with the brand new. I didn't sign to it. I just played the part like I was. I kept in contact with them, and I thought that somewhere down the line that we would be able to sit down and be like, look, like, my worth is a lot more than what you're saying. What's going on right here with the contract, you feel what I'm saying? That situation never arose, so I took it upon myself to tell them respectfully at the time, look, I'm just gonna do my own thing, because this shit ain't gonna work out. There's no way I'm gonna give you my music to own the product that I have coming at this cost, you know what I'm saying? The beef wasn't behind that contract solely. It's behind shit that's deeper than music. So therefore, I gotta stick to my roots and go by the code that I was raised by, you know what I'm saying?
Pray to God you don't see me behind the rifle.
I paid for my own lawyer out of money that I acquired from the music that I sold to him. That's like your job telling you, I paid for your car that you bought with the paychecks that I give you. That shit does not make no sense, you feel what I'm saying? But that just goes to show you the lengths that these people will go to lie, homie.
You create a gold fund, you ain't taking shit, little bitch.
What I honestly think is that Capone and Pinks realize that they're on their last leg. Their style and their creativity and their talent at this point is no longer enough because Raza now is extremely talented. See, what happened now is that these kids, the generation before me, like the homies Blackie, like the homie Swifty Blue, like the homie Drummer Boy, you got young cats Devour, you got even King Lil G, you got a lot of these young cats really grew up on hip hop, really grew up on real good gangster rap, West Coast gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? They were the last ones to really appreciate Tupac. They were the last ones to really appreciate the West Side Connection. Not even that, you go deeper into the streets and say they even were able to be in contact with Mac Dre's music and whoever, so forth and so on. I could go on and on, you know what I mean? Nas, 50, all them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? The validation to do it, street-wise, lyrically-wise. I don't give a fuck who he signs right now. I feel in my own mind, in my own world, that can't nobody fuck with me, especially when it comes to beefing. And I thought about what could happen if I took this role. And I figured that the worst thing that could happen is I just make a bunch of enemies, but who gives a fuck? I got those anyways.
Yeah. This is really me. I ain't gonna lie to you, baby. Talk to
I gave every single individual artist the opportunity to confront me face to face if they wanted to. Before I took this path, I communicated with them all, first and foremost, like, look, like you're about to get dissed, you're about to get chewed up. If you feel like you want to meet up and you feel disrespected, I will give you that opportunity. I'll come alone, I'll come without no weapons, I'll come without none of my homeboys, and we could deal with it. And after that fact, once you've shown me that I'm wrong, I won't diss you. But now one of the artists wanted to see me. If anything, they blocked me. Crook One, it was just a series of interviews that I saw from him. And he subliminally likes to diss people. In one aspect, likes to diss our genre. He thinks that he can shit on Chicano Rap just because he was born, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is this, dog, that there's a lot of homies and there's a lot of people that sacrificed a lot just for that genre. Whether it's respected in the industry or not, you gotta respect what they did because they're our elders, homie, you feel what I'm saying? And that's one thing about our culture. We respect our elders no matter what, you feel what I mean? He's asking for charity from people that follow him. It's like, to me, it's like taking advantage and misleading and asking for charity. Like, if you have the ability to work for something, if you have the ability to grind for something, why not do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is holding you back from making it yourself? All of us work hard for what we do, whether it's fucking socks on our feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody pays for what they got with sweat off their back. So for somebody to just come out and ask for charity, I seen it as, fuck, us taking 20 steps back as a genre. Because if we weren't respected initially, now you got this motherfucker begging on a GoFundMe. That shit just makes us look even stupider, but a selfish mind doesn't think about everybody when he does that, you feel what I'm saying? I had to put it on blast because just for the simple fact that he takes it upon himself to represent such thuggish and gangster shit, you feel what I mean? That shit just makes me sick, you know, it just bothers me, you know what I mean?
Why you look so hard? If you don't want it, motherfucker, why you look so hard? Yeah, why you look so hard? If you don't want little mama, why you look so hard?
Through the system that he was running Christian. And one thing about me that people might not know is like, I have a lot of faith, you know what I'm saying? My respect for God is tremendous. Like, there's nothing that I do without thanking God for it, you know what I mean? Like, I acknowledge the fact that anything that I have, little or big, is a product of his blessings, you feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, I know very, very well that in the system, he was running behind the Bible. And what happens is in the system, when you run behind the Bible is that you're not held to the same standards that I would be as an active Sureño. You feel what I'm saying? You don't have to program the same way we do. You're not held to the same standards. And it's cool. You know, it's encouraged to follow your faith if that's what you want to do. And you get a privilege with that because we do respect religion, you feel what I'm saying? We're not just arrogant, ignorant motherfuckers that don't let nobody have a belief or faith. He hid behind that while he was doing his time, and the minute he gets out, he's talking gangster shit and gangbanging with his homies in the alley. So to me, it's like, how you gonna mislead the youth and the people that follow you and the people that look at you for guidance, but you ain't about that shit?
Yeah, why you look so hard? If you ain't wanted, motherfucker, why you look so hard?
Originally on the first one, I didn't diss Pinks, you know? And I pretty much said it at the last of my verse, if you ain't with the business, don't respond. You feel what I mean? So Crook one did 2 sneak dissing little posts on his Instagram. I heard them and I knew they were towards me. So that's one check automatically, he gonna get the run back. Pinks, I wasn't even talking about her, but she took it upon herself to run her mouth and not only speak up on me, but speak up on my personal life, you know what I'm saying? As far as like my kids and shit like that and the way that I live. So there was no way I was gonna let that shit ride. So I figured, all right, like they want to talk about music and they want to talk about talent, and I'm gonna give them a classic. See, that's the thing that people fail to realize these days, man. Like we all get checked, you know? It's just a matter of life, dog. Like I've been checked by my big homies. I haven't been perfect. I've been boo-bopped like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, when I was young. And in the system, if you fail to follow a certain rule, you're gonna get boo-bopped at home. You leave your dirty dish on the table, you're getting smacked. Sometimes you gotta get smacked to produce a better version of yourself, you feel what I'm saying? Like King, he's talented. Sad Boy, extremely talented. They're both doing their thing and they're both being successful at it. But when I say in this music shit, we're enemies, we are. Like, I'm trying to get to the top. Like, I don't really care who's in the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not no hate. Like, if anything, it's respect. Like, I'm acknowledging you, homie, because you're a factor, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you the moment of day because I respect and I acknowledge what you've done, you feel what I'm saying? I admire it, and I want to be where you're at. That's basically it. Like, I have no shame in saying that they're doing their thing, you feel what I mean? Like, respect to Sad Boy, respect to King Lil G, like, may God bless them, may they keep succeeding, homie, straight up. To upcoming artists, all I have to say is do it yourself. Find the means to fund your own music and your own promo. If they use the right outlets, like, I've invested, obviously, in Land Beast, and it's paid off for me, like, tremendously. Like, it's done things for me that fucking would have took me a few years to do. I did in months with you guys, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that it's all valuable. Like, everybody plays their part, and that's just the way it's supposed to be. Like, if the talent is there, then you're gonna be all right.